So I had zero plans on making a video today, but since I tested positive for COVID just this morning, I figured we could sort of talk about it, right? So if you follow me on Instagram, you already know I posted the little screenshot of the COVID test. And so let's talk about my symptoms, what I'm experiencing, how I think I got it, who I've been in contact with, all of those things. All right, so let's just briefly talk about my symptoms that I'm having. I feel like I've got a good old-fashioned cold, right? It's kind of all in my nose. I'm kind of stuffy nose, runny nose, a little bit of tickle in my throat. I'm sneezing a little bit, not so much coughing. I've got no fever. I've got no body aches, chills, or achiness, or anything like that. I feel like I've got a cold. So I started experiencing these symptoms last week. So I went and got a COVID test just because of just a heightened awareness of like anything that's irregular, let's go get tested. I think I tested on Thursday. It was the day before New Year's Eve day, right? And speaking of New Year's Eve, my plans changed like a bunch of different times leading all the way up till New Year's Eve day that afternoon. I was basically going to spend the evening at home by myself because everything sort of kept changing. But the afternoon of New Year's Eve, I got invited to go to my friend Bill's house. I did my first COVID test on Thursday, and it was negative. So I'm like, oh, I just have a regular cold, like no big deal. My smell and taste is still there. The weather's been really cold here. It's been rainy, so I figured that's kind of where I got it from. But where I got it from, I actually have no idea. And of course, I reached out to Bill and let him know, since I was at his place New Year's Eve with a handful of people, that, look, I just tested positive this morning. I don't know what that means for New Year's Eve, but just letting you know, because I don't know how to contact the other people that were at his party, but of course he does, and I'm sure he will do his due diligence and let people know. One really interesting thing to note is that, and I hadn't tied this together, but I watched Graham Stephan. If you follow Graham Stephan on YouTube, he just posted a video the other day about where he got COVID, and he talked about like an extreme lack of focus and concentration and being really tired. Like fatigue, like I can tie that into like being sick with COVID, but the lack of focus and motivation and just focusing on one thing, trying to get one thing done, like that's a real deal. I had no idea. It's been really difficult. And this goes back probably 2 weeks maybe, like even before I started thinking that I had a cold. Really, really low energy, really lack of focus, because I work like almost every single day. Like I have to write scripts and content and film and edit and upload and, do work on other projects. And I just could not get myself to sit down and focus on one thing. I was like a scatterbrain. Like I'm pretty scattered anyway. I tend to sort of I tend to drift on to like other projects. But this was just to get myself to sit and write and focus was a major, major challenge. Like I've gone through periods of writer's block before, right? Where I can't come up with any ideas. I don't know what to say. And I've got a video coming up where the video needs to be uploaded on a certain day. And it's like 2 days before the video is supposed to be out and I've got nothing. I always figure it out though, but this was, and I've gone through those little short periods before. It would be like a week where I don't feel motivated, but then it just sort of something happens and I'm able to sit and write and get things done. But this was a little bit different. It was like, I would force myself to sit and write and try to be creative and nothing would come out. I was like surfing Amazon and doing everything, doing laundry, folding clothes. I was doing everything other than what I sat down to do. One thing that I do want to add here is that I'm very confident that I will be just fine, right? I'm double vaccinated and boosted. I got my booster like a week and a half ago, and I'm on a very involved and pretty rigid vitamin regimen. I've talked about vitamins on this channel before, but yeah, I don't miss a beat when it comes to vitamins. I think this is something that we're all gonna have to deal with at some point. I just think we're all gonna get it, and it's just a matter of, like, are you prepared for it? Like, are you gonna stay out of the hospital? Because for me, I'm 52. Even though I'm not the most physically fit dude you've ever seen, I think I'm still pretty darn healthy. And I just try to do what I can to make sure that if and when I got COVID, I just want to stay out of the hospital. I just want to get over it, move on, and that's kind of where I'm at with all this stuff. So I guess my plans are for the next 5 or 10 days is to pretty much hang out at the house. I'm going to order some food. I was going to go out today and look at recliners. I want a new chair in here, but those plans are sort of squashed. So I'm going to hang out. I'm just going to hang out and be kind of bored. The lack of focus is still there a little bit, but I'm going to try to force myself to get some work done. I've got a big January. You guys are going to see a lot of videos in January. So I'd like to take these next 5 to 10 days and really sort of try, if I can, to focus on building out my content ahead of time, because I love being 2 weeks, 3 weeks ahead on my videos. We'll see how this all shakes out. I'm sure I'm going to be just fine, like I said. But yeah, follow along on Instagram and maybe I'll get creative. I'm going to get a lot of practice using this coffee maker over here. I got to really work on my latte art. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. I know this video was a complete departure from my normal content, but I do thank you for your time. Happy New Year. Stay healthy, and we'll see you guys soon. Take care.